Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a Victoria suspect faces 3 assault charges. A father and son from Calhoun County are still missing after the boat they were on capsized in Lavaca Bay. And a driver who fell asleep at the wheel escaped uninjured from a crash in Refugio County.
Well, the summer heat is definitely on. It'll be here for quite some time. If you want a glimmer of hope, I'm going to give you a glimmer of hope. It's out here. We'll see if we can kind of wish it in this direction. We'll talk about that coming up.
And former Cowboy and NFL Hall of Fame lineman suddenly dead at age 52. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia is off tonight. The family of a missing father and son in Calhoun County are still hoping they can be found. 50-year-old Benedicto Jaramillo, his son, 15-year-old Angel Jaramillo, left Magnolia Beach Saturday morning to go shrimping. The 40-foot shrimping vessel they were on capsized in a storm. The Coast Guard suspended its search Sunday morning. The Port Lavaca Wave reports family members are still searching Lavaca Bay. So are volunteers from Hunter Hadley's Quest, a group founded after a boating accident caused the death of Hunter Hadley in January 2023. Victoria police arrested a 25-year-old suspect Sunday. Jacob Mank of Victoria faces an assault causes bodily injury of a family member charge from Bexar County, along with 2 assault charges from Victoria County. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $60,000 bond. A 20-year-old suspect was arrested by Victoria police Saturday. Justin Morales of Victoria faces charges of evading arrest with a vehicle, tampering with physical evidence, theft of a firearm, and engaging in organized criminal activity. He is in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $70,500 bond. Victoria police arrested 2 burglary suspects this morning. 62-year-old Donald Butchek and 41-year-old Joseph Daly, both of Victoria, are charged with burglary of a building. Butchek also is charged with criminal trespass of a home or shelter center. They're in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of $43,200 total bond. 2 suspects from San Antonio were arrested by Victoria police Saturday. 45-year-old Renee Reyes and 31-year-old Ruby Rodriguez are charged with forgery, fraud, and making a false statement. Rodriguez is also charged with evading arrest with a vehicle. They are in the Victoria County Jail in lieu of a total of $133,000 bond. A driver was not injured after his truck crashed Sunday afternoon on U.S. Highway 77 near Woodsboro. DPS reports 24-year-old Carlos Peña Porras fell asleep at the wheel. The truck he was driving rolled multiple times and struck a cable barrier. Porras was wearing a seatbelt. If you receive damage due to the recent severe weather in Calhoun County and you're not sure what to do, FEMA says they are ready to help. FEMA has opened up an office inside the Port Lavaca Library on Mahan Street and encourages anyone that was impacted by the recent severe weather to come in and apply for disaster benefits. Latanya Hopes with FEMA says that many more funding options have been added and encourages everyone to apply. Even if you think that you will not qualify, you just might.
And we're here to help. We've rolled up our sleeves, and these wonderful people in here, they've had tons of training on being respectful, on being honest, on being patient, and being compassionate towards the people that are walking in the door.
The Port Lavaca FEMA office is inside the Port Lavaca Library at 200 Mahan Street. The hours of the FEMA office are from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. daily. Be sure to bring your photo ID and any pictures of the damage or loss you experienced. And now let's take a first look at your forecast. Here's First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. And Mac, you know, with FEMA coming back to Port Lavaca, I say coming back because it brings back some memories almost 7 years ago of Harvey there.
Yes, it does. I'm sure many people remember spending much time talking with them. Hopefully it's not what we're going to have this season, but now it's the beginning of the hurricane season. We have to be prepared for anything. Right about now, lots of heat and humidity. We have some storms out in the northern mountains of Mexico. Will they come? I'm going to give you a glimmer of hope coming up in just a minute. We'll talk about your weather and their hot weather coming up after this. Back to you, Don.
Mac, thank you. The political spotlight of a presidential election entangled in unprecedented legal drama is shifting this week. Today, Hunter Biden was called to answer for federal gun charges. And this is all happening as the campaign enters an intense new phase.
Hunter Biden, the son of President Joe Biden, is on trial for gun-related charges. He's accused of illegally purchasing and possessing a gun while abusing or being addicted to drugs, a violation of federal law.
I really think that the only defense that Hunter Biden has is at the time he signed the ATF form, at the time he owned the gun for about 10 days, was he addicted to drugs? Was he taking drugs?
Hunter Biden pleaded not guilty to the charges, though he has been open about struggles with drug and alcohol addiction. This is the first time in American history that the child of the sitting president is going on trial. First Lady Jill Biden joined him in court on Monday. While the president did not go to the courthouse, he did spend part of Monday in Wilmington, where jury selection for the trial is taking place.
Like any family man, it's hard for him when his son is going through something difficult.
In a statement, the president said, quote, "As the president, I don't and won't comment on pending federal cases. But as a dad, I have boundless love for my son, confidence in him, and respect for his strength. Our family has been through a lot together, and Jill and I are going to continue to be there for Hunter and our family with our love and support." If convicted on all 3 counts, Hunter Biden could face up to 25 years in prison. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
2 New York City police officers were released from a hospital after being shot in an exchange of gunfire with a migrant. Officers were investigating a robbery pattern when they met a man driving a moped in the wrong direction. The suspect, 19-year-old Bernardo Mata, fired at the officers and they fired back. One officer was shot in the leg while the other was shot in his bullet-resistant vest. Castro Mata is in custody, suspected in some robberies. Authorities say he entered the U.S. from Venezuela through Texas last year. The Victoria ISD has a special meeting Wednesday, June 5th. That's 2 days from now to review proposals for a search firm as it looks for the next superintendent. They will select the search firms they want to meet with at the June 10th board meeting. Wednesday's meeting is at 3:30 at 102 Prophet Drive. 5 earthquakes rocked parts of California, all within hours early Sunday morning. The U.S. Geological Survey reports 4 were ranked as having a magnitude of 3 or higher. A 3.4 magnitude quake hit the town of Alum Rock around 3:30 a.m. local time. That's about an hour south of San Francisco. Just 2 hours later, a quake of the same magnitude shook South Pasadena. Right now, it's unclear if there were any reports of injuries or damage. Join us tonight for Storm Prep 2024. 24 News Now anchor, 25 News Now anchor Karina Garcia excuse me, provided an insight on how homebound patients often face challenges when it comes to evacuating from dangerous hurricanes. Come to crossroadstoday.com to read the article, and tonight at 6:30 you can watch other stories on how to prepare ahead of the storm. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell, then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. Dr. Anthony Fauci took the heat from a House committee Monday. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, find out how hot it got in that congressional hearing. Also ahead, Mexico's first female president is the subject of our viewer poll tonight. A contentious day on Capitol Hill as Dr. Anthony Fauci testified to a House Select Subcommittee on the COVID-19 pandemic. More now on Monday's bitterly divided lines of questioning.
I want to thank you for your decades of public service. I'm sorry about the threats that you have received.
A cordial greeting soon eroded into partisan tensions.
Americans were aggressively bullied, shamed, and silenced for merely questioning or debating issues such as social distancing, masks, vaccines, or the origins of COVID.
The people who brought you the political big lie now bring you the medical big lie, making the outlandish claim that Dr. Fauci was responsible for causing COVID-19.
Monday's public hearing follows closed-door testimony Dr. Anthony Fauci gave House lawmakers in January on the nation's COVID-19 response. He was grilled again on issues like social distancing.
The burdensome 6-foot social distancing rule did not have sufficient scientific report. In your words, it just sort of appeared.
When I said that it just appeared, it appeared. What I meant by no science behind it is that there wasn't a controlled trial that said compare 6 foot with 3 feet with 10 feet.
An answer seized on by other panel members.
Making up guidelines like 6 feet distancing and masking of children. Do you think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci?
Dr. Fauci repeatedly denied claims by some Republicans that he covered up the origins of the pandemic and stood by his former testimony that the COVID-19 virus was most likely a natural occurrence, not created in a Chinese lab. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
U.S. Representative Sheila Jackson Lee has pancreatic cancer. The Democrat from Houston says she is currently undergoing treatment. Jackson, in a statement, told her constituents she would be, quote, occasionally absent, unquote, from Congress during this time. But the 15-term Congresswoman noted that she is working with congressional leadership to be present for critical votes. Earlier this year, she fended off a primary challenge from a one-time congressional intern for her deep blue 18th district seat. Claudia Sheinbaum has won Mexico's presidential election. Sheinbaum now faces a market meltdown and a tough path toward reconciling a country left deeply divided by outgoing President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. Long-delayed initial vote counts gave her a crushing margin of victory, higher even than the one Lopez Obrador won in 2018. With about 78% of votes counted, Sheinbaum was getting about 59% of the votes, about twice as many as her nearest competitor, who got around 28%. Here's your viewer poll this evening. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. Here's the question. Do you think the U.S. will elect its first woman president in your lifetime? You know, it's a really close vote when you see the numbers change on the air, as you just did right there. 47% say yes, 41% say no, 12% say never. This particular question has been really close all day long. We thank all of y'all for voting, and we want to hear your opinion. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we will have an update on 25 News Now at 10. There will be a road closure in Victoria County Precinct 1 this week. McCoy Road between Highway 185 and Phillip Road will be closed due to bridge repairs. The closure will be tomorrow and Wednesday.
Well, folks, we want to remind you that tonight at 6:30, following this program, we're going to have a special 30-minute program that we want you to join us for. It's called Storm Prep 2024. Obviously, this is the beginning of the tropical storm season, and so we have to be ready. We've discussed all of our crews gave us stories to include, and we're talking about all kinds of things that are necessary to know before the storm arrives, during the storm, and after the storm. So join us tonight at 6:30. We'll be back with your forecast coming up. Welcome back, everybody. 89 degrees right about now. Plenty of heat and humidity for the Crossroads. Our high was 91. It felt obviously worse than that because the humidity is very high. Now, this is a very interesting development for this week. The temperatures are going to go up, but the humidity is going to lower, and as a result, our heat index is not going up. It's because the humidity has to be included in there. Not much happened in terms of any kind of cloud cover or rain. However, I'm going to give you this little glimmer of hope. Out here in northern Mexico, we have another round today and tomorrow of these afternoon thunderstorms that pop up. Now, you remember what happened the last couple of weeks. They drift toward Texas. Right now, one computer model has it at least crossing the border. Another one has it coming very close to our area. So there's a glimmer that we may get something overnight. They would not arrive here until sunrise tomorrow morning, but it's, the 20–30% chance, but that's the only glimmer that we've got. Up in North Texas, they're getting actually more storms tonight. We'll talk about that in a second. Of course, the big issue for us is the dome. This is the subtropical high. It's a semi-permanent feature. It comes every summertime, and that is basically, you're looking at summer right there. This bubble is going to, ebb and flow for a bit until it finally sets itself on top of us. And when it does, that's when the heat waves will be hitting the Midwest and the Chicago and all those places, all right? For the time being, it's just us as it continues progressing along for the season. While we had no shower activity today, we're watching the stuff out there. You see it popping up. Remember, you've got this Gulf moisture rolling in. It hits the mountains. Thunderstorms build, then the upper winds sort of bring them back over the area, and so we'll wait and see if anything holds together, and certainly by tonight at 10 o'clock we'll have a better indication. Stormy weather rolling through Dallas even as we speak. Looks pretty heavy right about there. This stuff, this is in yellow, is a severe thunderstorm watch, but generally it's into Texarkana and all rolling into Louisiana. As far as we're concerned, get a load of these temperatures. Now, this time of year, our average high should be about 92. We're not average anymore. We're way above average. And then you're looking at the weekend with plain old sunny and hot, 98 degrees. Now, may not say 100, but somewhere around here, maybe your feet will be walking in 100-degree heat, so you need to consider that. Tonight, a garden variety chance for us. The bigger chances is out here along the river because of the stuff in Mexico. And then tomorrow, we actually look for anything to really pop. Will be up north. We have a very slim, if anything, kind of chance, but that's for 2 days. And then after that, no chance, okay? So some chance is better than no chance. Tomorrow, looking at a 94 for us and a 102 in San Antonio, 92 Houston, 95 down in Corpus Christi. Of course, here's a little bit of an idea of what I'm telling you about. There's the storm. That's the computer model that brings it across. It gets it to about 281 and it begins to collapse. So we'll just watch and wait to see how it evolves. There's no guarantee, but it's about that much chance of it getting to our area. Partly cloudy, up to 92 in Port Lavaca tomorrow. Partly cloudy, lots of sun, getting up to 95 out in Cuero. And yes, we're looking at temperatures going from 96 to 98 over the coming weekend. And of course, with the heat index today and tomorrow hovering right at about 110. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Don.
Mac, thank you. And Zach has your sports, and Zach, Cowboys fans, a really tough day for them.
Yeah, so a Cowboy and an NFL legend passed away suddenly while on vacation. That's coming up in sports. Gymnastics star and Houstonian Simone Biles now holds yet another national title. Biles picked up her record 9th all-around title Sunday night at the 2024 U.S. Gymnastics Championships in Fort Worth, Texas. That was after she recorded the highest score on all 4 events over 2 nights of competition. After her win, the 27-year-old told NBC she feels great with how she's competing right now. Biles will next target the U.S. Olympic trials at the end of this month. That's ahead of the Summer Olympic Games in Paris. Former Cowboys great and Pro Football Hall of Famer Larry Allen has died at the age of 52. Allen passed away suddenly while on vacation in Mexico with his family. Allen was a second-round draft pick in 1994 by Dallas, where he played for 12 seasons. He was a Super Bowl champion when Dallas defeated the Steelers in Super Bowl 30. Among his many NFL accomplishments, he was also a father and a husband. Star NFL wide receiver Justin Jefferson getting quite the payday. Sources tell ESPN that Jefferson and the Minnesota Vikings have agreed to a 4-year contract extension worth $140 million. It would make him the highest paid non-quarterback player in NFL history. $110 million is guaranteed. Jefferson, in a video posted to his social media, says this contract represents the culmination of a lifelong journey to play football at the highest level. The deal for the 3-time Pro Bowler averages $35 million per season. Here in Victoria, we got to see the Generals take home a 9-3 victory in Game 1, and last night, same result, but the final score 10-1. The Generals have now won their first 2 games at Riverside Park. They hit the road for 2 games, playing the Acadiana Cane Cutters before returning home for 2 games against them. They are now 2-1 on the very young season. And in the Major League circuit, over at the Juice Box, the Astros tried to make it 2 in a row against the Minnesota Twins, trailing 2-1, and Alex Bregman homer gives Houston the lead in the third. It's now 3-1, or 3-2, excuse me. That was Bregman's 4th homer in 6 games when the Twins would tie it in the 6th inning on a homer of their own. The Astros would not score another run the rest of the ball game as the Twins take the lead in the 8th on a ball that's just fair. Final score 4-3 Twins. Astros now 7.5 games back of the first place Mariners, and that other Texas team had quite the day in Miami. The Rangers had their way with the Marlins scoring early and often. A 3-run first inning capped off by this 2-run double as Seager hustling all the way around, scores from first. Adolis Garcia would actually strike again in the 6th. Final score 6-0. The Rangers get 6 innings of shutout ball out of starting pitcher Andrew Heaney. Texas now 29-30 on the young season. That is it for your sports. Don, back to you.
Zach, thank you. We're back in a moment. World War II veterans arrived in France Monday to take part in events marking the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings. Finally tonight, a group of World War II veterans arrived in France today to take part in various events marking the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings. 60 veterans traveled from the U.S. and were met with an arrival ceremony. While abroad, the events will continue for the veterans. The group will also be matched with high school and college students so they can learn about the veterans' experiences and help escort them around. I would love to be one of those students.
Oh,
and
my
just
gosh.
to hear from those veterans talking about June 6, 1944.
Living history. You know, we're losing them because they're all, what, 80, 90 years old.
Yes.
So
yes.
It's amazing. Well, folks, the heat goes on, but tonight, following this program, I want you to leave the channel on because we've got a special program for you. It's called Storm Prep 2024. We have a 30-minute program on getting ready and knowing what to do in case a hurricane arrives. Of course, this is the beginning of the season, and we'll be talking about it for quite some time. But for the next 30 minutes following this program, you can see and hear about things that have happened before and what people are doing to be ready just in case the next one shows up. Don, back to you.
Great show. Great show, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Seen it. Great
Appreciate
show.
it.
Look forward to seeing it once again. And thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you tonight for 25 News now at 10. Have a good evening, everybody, and watch right after this Storm Prep 2024.